Hi, I'm currently in Korea visiting parents for 3 months. Took an airplane 30th January 2021 from Heathrow and arrived on the 14th at Incheon Airport. I had been bound to capitalism since 2014. 3 weeks was the maximum allowed period for an employee. I needed time off with my parents. So today, I'm going to talk about how I traveled from London, Heathrow Airport to Chungju, where my parents are. Hope you will enjoy and this will be helpful for your journey to Korea. Note that it may be different because I have a family in South Korea. First, I booked an aeroplane return ticket in November 2020 from KLM, interchanging at Schipole Airport, given that it was 600 quid. Alas, I didn't know about the extra cost at the time. Maybe I'll talk about it later. In January 2021, the Korean government issued a new plan as there had been new variants of the coronavirus. And there was a Korean family who got COVID in the UK, came to Korea intentionally. It was ludicrous. Maybe there wasn't enough numbers of bed in the UK, I don't know. Since then, the Korean government became very strict. For me, I needed a negative PCR test and the family registry report to prove that I have a reliable place to stay during my self-isolation period. Due to time constraint with the PCR test result, I needed to have an appointment. The UK government has published a list of trusted institutes where people can have a PCR test, not just London. I wish the list grouped the institutes according to the locations, like London, Liverpool, Cambridge, Oxford, etc. I found Conceptical Clinic in Oxford Circus in London where I can visit and being able to be tested. This was my prediction. On Monday, 12th January 2021, I traveled to Victoria Station. It has been a year since I refrained from traveling due to lockdown or coronavirus. It was a shock to see Victoria Station being empty. I took selfies, as you can see. I looked a bit funny. It was a precaution to block someone's saliva towards my eyes and face. I won't be able to travel, may lose my money if I get COVID. Think it was necessary. Now, Oxford Circus Station, it was almost empty too. This was the clinic. Where the test took place was on the second floor and there were a few nurses. It was quick. Finally, it's Wednesday morning, the day I traveled to a place where my parents are. I had a full English breakfast before travel. I took an Uber from my home to a station. I prepared a decent number of gloves so that I can minimize the infection risk. I love my bags. I just checked out and I'm going to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport first. I was told to complete this form. I waited for an hour. While waiting, I had a yasai vegetable sushi rolls. Yummy. Now I'm on an airplane. We passed the sea and is now in Amsterdam. Arriving. After getting off the aeroplane, we are taking a bus to go to a gate. Couldn't take a picture, but there was a paper checking process. Everyone was asked to show their PCR test result that ought to be negative. Having a salmon sandwich with my favorite juice, Lipton. I think it was 10 euros in total. They accepted Apple Pay. After that, I saw people standing in a long queue for a temperature check while heading to my gate. I was inspected and I was good. I got this paper. Boarding on airplane to Korea. It was a 10-hour and 30 minutes flight. The pasta was okay. The aeroplane was quite empty. So I couldn't find a seat with entire row empty and I slept well while flying. You can see someone lying down on the seat behind me. Surprisingly, I heard from government official while I was self-isolating at my parents' house later that there was a person with COVID near my seat in this airplane. I was wearing a goggle, mask and gloves, so I didn't get infected. Necessary precautions, as I said, despite of the funny look. Writing my arrival card. After getting off the aeroplane, I saw this. I translate. The government recommends people to use their car. Taking airport train is not allowed. There are limousines to travel to big cities. For your reference, I have a British passport, but I have a family in Korea. So I was allowed to self-isolate at my parents' house with family registry form. If you're British national, but without a place to stay, you may end up paying a substantial amount of money to stay at a hotel for self-isolation. However, please contact the Korean embassy in the UK before you travel to check if that's the case. These two forms are to be filled at the airport. I was asked to sign in these two legal documents. I looked for what the articles were about. I was asked to sign in ASAP, but people were queuing. I don't think it was fair. I attached the screenshots of the related legal articles for your information. Those certificates are issued at the airport, needed several times. Everyone was asked to install this application, and the government staff set up the app. I was to register my body temperature and any anomalies twice a day. I got these two documents in the end and told to wear a yellow pass. I think it's for people from the UK as per the variant. Those people with a yellow pass were led to a place to wait for a special bus. I waited for 2 hours. The bus took around 30 minutes to travel and there were few people on the bus. We arrived at a hotel. We were told to fill in some forms related to dietary requirements and quarantine procedures. People were assigned to rooms and government staff would come to those rooms and test each person. The test result would be known on the following day. When we were heading to the rooms, we were given those documents and food, sandwich and drink. The hotel room was amazing as shown in the pictures. The heating was good. I waited and I was visited. I was tested for Covid-19. I wasn't allowed to go out. I shouldn't go out, take the elevator and go to the lobby. Due to a jet lag, couldn't sleep well. Took some pictures and recorded some videos. I only had a 50mm lens, so couldn't do anything bad. Was secretive. The next day, I had my test result. It was negative, so I was allowed to self-quarantine at my parents' house. My parents came to the hotel to pick me up. If it was positive, God knows what would happen. I don't want to think about it. In Korea, the government sends text messages, notify various things, including harsh weather and corona, etc. This means city council saying Chungju city now has 175th corona case. He or she visited CS Korea store. The city council will investigate further. Translating. First message, please do social distancing. Second message, city council, a snowstorm is expected. 204th corona case. Someone with corona visited our city, Geungang Center building. I talked about the self-isolation app made by the Korean government. When the app is set at an airport, each person is assigned to a staff working at a public health center. I was to assign to a health center staff. I had a visit from public health center. I was asked to sign in this paper. To summarize, if I don't follow the quarantine procedures, I can be prosecuted, fined, and can be deported. If I go out during my self-isolation period, as a penalty, I have to wear an electronic armband the government will give to me. I was given this. I have to gather my rubbish out and put inside the purple bags. If my final test at the end of the self-isolation period turns out to be positive, I have to put the purple bags inside the orange-colored biohazard bag. I also was given this box. This can be useful, full of food, but I live with my parents. Thank you for your kindness. This is my rubbish. When my self-isolation period ended, I was going out to the public health center to have a final corona test. People are queuing. After the test finished, I handed over my rubbish to them. This screenshot is saying my test result was negative and my self-isolation period ended. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a safe journey. Thank you.